Hi, I'm Roger.
And I'm Cindy.
And we're Changing the View. Welcome to the channel.
Today we are in West Virginia.
This week we thought we would do an update video and let you know where we've been and what we've been doing.
The last time we were with you guys, we were in Charleston, South Carolina.
Yeah, another really cool city. We had just visited St. Augustine, Florida, Savannah, Georgia, and then Charleston.
Which quickly became one of our favorite cities, and we've added it to our list of must return to. Yeah,
beautiful city, lots of history, and if you haven't already, that video is linked above. Go check that out. It's a video worth watching.
Yeah, we had a great time there, but when we left Charleston, we headed to North Carolina, and it was our first experience for both of us on the Outer Banks of North Carolina.
The Outer Banks of North Carolina, in a place called
Rodanthe.
Rodanthe.
And if you've seen the movie Nights in Rodanthe, I was told by a local that they pronounced it Rodanthe, but in the movie it's pronounced as Rodanthe, which is not correct. Rodanthe is the correct pronunciation.
Rodanthe.
And the house that's in the movie, Serendipity, is still there. It was, I think, scheduled to be torn down, and they decided to have a fundraiser. Somehow they got money and moved the house back so it can still be seen.
We didn't see it.
We didn't see it, but it's because the weather wasn't great. We had like one day of good weather while we were there.
Yeah, pretty cool drive into or to our KOA that we stayed in. A long beach drive, and the road is pretty cool because it's right on the left side of the road headed to the campground are these large sand dunes that are right on the road, which I think they are constantly clearing the road. They seem to always have tractors working to clear the road because it's right there on it.
They did that while we were there anyway. We don't know if they do it every day, but while we were there, they were doing it.
They have some upgraded bridges and all there, so it's a really nice drive. The roads were really nice. The campground was cool.
Yeah, we stayed at the KOA there in Cape Hatteras, and our camper was backed right up to the sand dunes right on the beach, so that was pretty amazing. If we had had good weather, it would have been perfect. Yeah, the weather
wasn't conducive to being outside while we were there. It was cold, it was rainy, a few days it was like gale force winds.
Yeah.
So we didn't really get to enjoy the outdoors, but this campground would be great, I think, in spring and summer. It would be awesome, especially where our site was. Like Cindy said, it was backed up right there to the beach. So.
And it was a huge campground with a lot to do. They had a jumping pillow, a huge swimming pool, volleyball. We didn't do a campground review because the weather wasn't great.
Yeah, it didn't work out.
But we would like to go back there.
Yeah. So our whole purpose in going to this area was we went there in hopes of seeing some wild horses.
Yes, Daniela Breo had told me to be sure that we included that in our trip. So we worked that in to head to the Outer Banks, and we were going to head to Corolla Island and find the wild horses. So
there you get to drive. You can take a tour. They have various tours available. We decided to take the free route because you're able to take your own vehicle if you have a four-wheel drive, which we do. So we just went onto the beach and began driving.
Yeah, we were off-roading for a couple of hours, I think. We went right down the coast all the way as far as we could go.
And then we turned around and came back, backtracked.
And we didn't see any wild horses.
Didn't see any horses, but again, it was windy, it was cold. So they were probably a little more inland, and we didn't really know the area well enough to go searching for them. So we decided to head to
Wright's Brothers National Memorial.
The Wright brothers.
Yeah.
They have a national memorial there. Of course, this is the area. They're from Ohio, if you know anything about the Wright brothers. bicycle makers in Ohio. They were looking for a place to experiment with flight.
Yeah.
So they chose Kitty Hawk, North Carolina, which is in this area. So we went to that memorial, and it was amazing.
It was great, yeah. It was a cold day, but we really enjoyed it. Brennan is excited about doing that video. He's going to have that out on Marks and Parts with Brennan soon. And we learned so much while we were there. We really learned a lot about the Wright brothers. I think I said Wright's brothers.
Yeah.
Wright brothers.
Yeah. Orville and Wilbur.
Yeah.
Wright. But the memorial was, at least for me, it was much better than I had expected it to be. It turned out to be a pleasant surprise, and it was pretty surreal to be right there where they had their first flights. And the visitor center was updated recently. It was really nice, a lot of hands-on things. We had attended a great presentation there by one of the rangers.
And because it's in the national park system, we were able to use our America the Beautiful card and get in without a fee.
Free,
so,
yeah. We love those. But yeah, I think that's going to be a great video. We're working on that now, so I'll have that linked above whenever I get that one completed and published.
When we left North Carolina, we headed to Virginia. We were going to add another national park to our list. Our plan was to visit Shenandoah National Park, and we chose a campground that was about, I think, 7 miles from the national park. It was Misty Mountain Camp Resort. Pretty nice
resort. We enjoyed it there as well. Had planned on doing a review of that campground.
We had some technical difficulties.
Didn't work out. If you've been following us, you know that I have a drone, and season 1 I crashed that drone, and since that time I've gotten it repaired, I've gotten it back. But there are very few places that really allow you to fly a drone. Well, this campground said okay.
Yeah.
So I took it up and flew it around, got some footage. At least I thought I had some footage. Didn't have the camera on, but I got some good practice in flying the drone.
And we do recommend that campground if you're in that area in Virginia. It was Greenwood, Virginia.
Yeah.
Misty Mountain Camp Resort. It was a pretty big area. It was really nice. The people were very friendly, and they had some nice amenities there. So we highly recommend that one.
Yeah.
Now, we were farther away than we thought. We were 7 miles away. However,
from Shenandoah National Park.
We were at the end of the
we're really close.
Skyline Drive.
Yes.
Yeah. So we got there very quickly, but we didn't realize we were at the end of the drive, and the visitor center, which we needed, was all the way at the other end. So we thought.
And they have one centrally located too. They have one visitor center in the middle of the park, and then they have the main one, the one you want to visit, was clear on the other end of the park. So we decided to make this drive. It's supposed to be a nice scenic drive. Obviously we're here during the wrong time of year and season, because this place would be beautiful. I know it would in the summer when everything's nice and green, and particularly I think it would be
in the fall.
In the fall, I think it would be just amazingly beautiful. But for us, all the trees had no leaves, so we're just seeing a bunch of brown trees with no foliage.
And if you wanted to take a hike, it would have been a great time to take a hike if you plan to do any of that. Our goal was to hit the visitor center, find out about the park, let Brennan do his activities for the
Junior
Ranger program. So our goal was to get to the visitor center, which we found out was,
I think, a little better than 100 miles.
100 miles
on
driving.
Skyline Drive, I think they call it, right?
Driving 35 miles an hour.
So yeah, you're going about 35, windy roads. Again, would be beautiful. Lots of overlooks on the way.
Yeah, tons of trails. People were everywhere on the trails, which would have been fun, would have been great if we had not wanted to get to the visitor center. So we got to the first visitor center, which was midpoint pretty much.
Yeah.
And it was closed. So we thought, okay, well, they will probably have the main visitor center open, so we'll just keep going.
So we keep going, and hours later, we arrive at the main visitor center, our goal for the day, our destination, only to discover that
Closed for the season.
this visitor center is also closed. So lesson learned. I guess you should, if you're thinking,
Check it out.
if you're thinking maybe they're not open, you know, because of the season, you might want to give it a call, give the visitor center a call to make sure they're open before you travel that
Right.
far.
Because I did go on the website to make sure the park was open, and it was open, and all the trails were open. I think there were a couple of alerts for some work being done maybe, but
Yeah,
it
we-
didn't say anything about the park being closed, so I assumed a visitor center would be open.
We were actually quite surprised that the main one wasn't open because everything else was open.
Yeah, and there were lots of people in there. But when we did arrive, it was beautiful. It was a beautiful area. It was very quiet, peaceful, and had a great overlook of Shenandoah
Yeah.
Valley.
Really nice visitor center, and out front, a nice area where you could sit, and just a nice overlook to see the valley below.
Yeah.
So-
Unfortunately, Brendan didn't get to do the Junior Ranger program there. So
Yeah.
we'll have to return someday, maybe in the fall.
So we exited the park on the other end, and then we had to make the drive back to the campground. Now,
Which was-
granted, it's interstate, but
Still 2 hours.
it still took us 2 hours to get back to the campground. So I did more driving in that day than I do on a normal travel day. We were literally driving the entire day.
So we are currently in Harpers Ferry in West Virginia at the Harpers Ferry Civil War KOA, which is another great KOA. We have been really impressed with the KOAs we've been in lately. It's a very large campground. It has Civil War trench actually in the campground with some signage to let you see exactly where certain guns were.
Yeah.
A lot of history here.
The amenities in this campground are unreal. They have a huge game room, the largest we've seen at any campground. They have a full-size gym,
Yes.
nice swimming pool area. Of course, that's not open at this time.
They have the jumping pillow.
The jumping pillow, I didn't know what they
That's
called that, but
very common at KOA.
many of your KOAs have that. Now, there's no one here, as you can see.
Yeah.
It's
Pretty empty.
It's pretty much empty. There's only, a handful of campers in here right now. But I imagine during the right season, this place is packed out.
Yeah, spring and summer.
Because you're right here close to the national park that we're going to be visiting.
Yeah, this is a national historic park that we're going to be visiting this week, and Brendan will have a video on that on Marks and Parts with Brendan. But we're really looking forward to it. There's a lot of history in this area.
What's the name of this park?
Harpers Ferry.
I'm not sure if we mentioned that. Harpers Ferry National Park. We're going there today, actually.
Yes, we're going to visit in just a few minutes.
Yeah, we're going to be heading there, and again, that'll be a Brennan video because it's one of the national parks. So be watching for that one. I'll get that out as soon as I can.
We had something new we participated in this week. We were actually contacted on Twitter, on our Twitter account, and asked if we would be willing to participate in a podcast. So we were like, sure, why not? And we did that. That was a pretty cool experience. The name of his Twitter is Hopeless Nomads. I believe that's right. Hopeless Nomads. And the name of the podcast is A Nomad's Way. It hasn't yet come out yet. He hasn't started airing his podcast, but I believe it's set to air in April, maybe.
I think so.
And we enjoyed participating in that. It was something new for us and a good experience.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. We had never done a podcast, so it was a good experience for us, and I think we enjoyed it. So with the podcast, the administrator of the podcast, they send you a list of questions that they're going to be asking so that you will be prepped and ready to answer those questions. They were good, thought-provoking questions, many of which cause you to reflect and really think about things. And one of the questions was,
how has the nomad life changed you? So we had to think about that, and had it changed us? And we think so. One way is that it's given us a greater appreciation for our beautiful country that we live in.
Yeah, and I think as a family unit that we have much stronger bonds now. I think our relationships are much stronger, and I think we're a lot closer. I think we have to be if we're 3 people living in such a confined space. But as I said on the podcast, you better like each other,
Yeah.
which we do. But I think, you know, on the positive note, that our relationship is stronger now as a family unit.
Yeah, and our focus is more on making memories.
Yes, our focus, it's kind of a paradigm shift. A mindset is different now. Our priorities are a little different, a little more refined and focused, I guess, because now it's more about the quality of life and seizing the day and making memories instead of making money and material things that won't amount to anything later anyway.
Right. And we're going to come back to that podcast because we have one more thing we want to share with you from the podcast. But before we do that, I want to share with you a product recommendation. We discovered this product from some friends that we met in South Carolina, Find Us Camping. We have enjoyed connecting with them and learning more about them.
And we'll have them linked below.
Yeah, especially the video. We found this product on their video from the Tampa RV show. They were recommending some products there, and we decided we needed a few more of the products that they recommended, but one of them that we're going to recommend today is called a grip stick. So we're going to demonstrate to you how the grip stick works. Roger?
Well, this is just a cereal bag, but this can work on any bag that you have. Potato chips we use it on, cereal bags we just discard the box and use this.
And they're different sizes that
because,
come in the package.
Yeah, it produces a really good seal on these bags, and we can also use these on like freezer bags. We haven't done that, but
no, we haven't. But you can actually get the air out of it so that it's airtight.
Yeah.
And then this can go in the freezer.
So how it works is you can see it's got a little yellow tab right here on the end, and you just fold the bag wherever you want the grip stick to be, and you just put that yellow tab beneath your fold and you just slide it on there. So that creates a good seal on the bag, keeps everything nice and fresh, keeps the ants out if you're in an RV. But yeah, grip sticks.
We love the grip sticks. Thanks to Jimmy and Lisa for introducing us to those. And check out their video. They have some other cool things in that video.
Yeah, again, that's linked below. Go check them out.
Now, back to the podcast. We wanted to leave you with one of the things that he asked us about. What would we tell others? Is there anything we want to share that's motivational, or just a tip that we want to leave with others? He had suggested it could be even lyrics from a song or a poem, and we chose a song, and we want to leave that with you now.
Yeah, of course, a lot of things came to mind. There's a lot of things that inspire us and have inspired us along the way. Some of those are found in books. I know we purchased a little book for Brennan that inspires us. Brennan has a devotion book that he reads every morning that's inspiring to us. And if you know us, you know we love music. And one of the things that inspires us is music and songs and lyrics. So in one of our earlier videos, we found this song and used it on a video, and we seem to always come back to that as one of our favorites because it has a really cool theme to it, and that's kind of become our mantra.
Yeah.
So, which is?
Let every day bring something new.
And so to close out this video, cue the music, and we'll see you down the road.
Time won't stop, so gonna will always bring me something new. So I spread all my footprints around, yeah. I know that every day will always bring me something new.